You, how's your week been, buddy?
It's been busy and it's been joyful and it's been full of hope in every direction. I'm here in Southern Ohio enjoying spring like weather. We have a slow rain. It's 72 degrees and it's breezy blowing in the window. And my hair still looks good. I have not been out in.
That's fantastic. The weather around the country is so varied right now, and places where it's typically cool, it's hot. Places where it's hot, it's cool. And I know that we've got another hurricane out there right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to affect either coast. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's Mark, one of
Oh
my
boy.
favorite people. How is Mark Guy today, this Friday, August 16th?
I raise my glass of coffee, the ambrosia that has been given to us from the gods. Thank you. Thank you from the God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When I'm talking from the gods, I'm talking from the Greek gods, the Greek mythology, because I used to be a student of that. Anyway, good to see you both and everyone out there as well.
Excellent. What's going on in your corner of the world, Mr. Mark?
A lot of things are happening. I feel like there's awakening happening in the world,
Yes,
awakening to who we are, that we have to take responsibility for our life. Or at least that's how I feel. Take responsibility, commitment, listen more. And yeah, I think, I'm going back to the Old Testament, the New Testament. I'm listening to the people. I'm opening up my heart. And that is quite an experience. When you open up your heart, you can get hurt, but you can also heal and you can feel
absolutely.
a lot more.
Absolutely. Yeah, you when we become vulnerable, we have opportunity. And that opportunity is to, as you say, heal, to love, to celebrate, to find that joining of hearts that can only happen when we are open, or we set ourselves up to be disappointed, to be brokenhearted, and to experience being alive once again. So that's what I call it. I
Nick,
said this
are you talking about experience? What are you talking about? Okay,
I
come
may have
on, tell us
I
the
may
spill the tea, tell us the juice. Tell us the juice.
when we open ourselves up to possibility, our world changes either way because we've taken a courageous step. When we can't control an outcome, which is most of the time in life, when we simply can't control 100% of an outcome, going to work each day, getting in our car and driving, that's an act of faith. If we look at all the things we do that we've gotten used to doing that others are maybe afraid of, driving is one of them. When we look at the small things we can do that we do well without thinking, that should show us that we have that capability to do amazing things. And the same thing happens in relationships and job opportunities and in any place that we find ourselves, there is opportunity for good and for bad. And we just have to choose which places we open up to. In my world this week, I accepted a new position last week after we met on this show. I will be uh, on the piano and voice faculty for the Jacksonville School of the Arts. And really excited about that, doing teaching piano and voice. And it pays well. The students are amazing. And it took an act of faith for me to say yes to that because I've been dealing with these health issues and I'm thinking the time's not right. But sometimes we just have to, when those opportunities come to us, we have to say yes. Yes, I will. And then the other things fall in place. So I'm excited about that, but definitely whenever you open yourself to change, and that's going to be a big change for me. You have the opportunity for greatness and dismal failure. So it's it's how do we choose to proceed? And I think it's going to be my favorite position ever. I think it's going to be the position that I'm supposed to do, that I was created to do. And the rest of the week, because it's only 3 days a week, the rest of the week, I get to share my journey and my music with other people. And it's amazing how things come together. It truly is. So if somebody, if you're struggling today with a decision, with a choice, and you feel stuck, you don't know what to do, I encourage you to go for it. Say yes and change your life today. What about you guys when you intersect with opportunities that you've prayed for your entire life, or during dark seasons and it's knocking on your doors like, here I am, and it's not the right time? What do you do?
Mark? Oh, thank you.
I give it to
Well,
Greg. I give it to Greg.
just this morning, last evening, I got an opportunity. I'm working on my pastoral license the upcoming year, but I've not been engaged in my local church a lot because a very productive, very high quality staff. Well, I get a call going to the church office yesterday, and the pastor asked me, "Can you come open the church and conduct the Lord's Supper communion for area people that want to come in?" We've started doing it on a daily basis just to reach our community. Me, I mean, I have, but sure. So this morning I go in, and two people come, small community, two coaches from the high school, both I know. So two coaches and a former crook, and I'm leading them in the Lord's Supper and a devotional challenge, how to become more open up, like Mark said, spiritually. Like Nick is talking about, what is God wanting me to do? Because they're both very accomplished men, and the thing they were pushing in on, that wondering if they were doing well enough, even in what they were doing, not doubt, but just wanted to have more peace, have more direction, start their day off with a focus from God and not from self. And I got to lead that. So that was just pretty amazing this morning. So I went down, did it, came back, and here I am. Things that I'm practicing for and teaching of, I now get to implement with people. I've done things that just could be more opposite. I'm going to write a devotional about it, and I put it in a text this morning. Two coaches and a crook. And God straightens all of our lives out as we trust in Him and reach out and get risky. Being a visible failure, you think you're until you're used, and then when you're tapped to be used, you run right into it. By the way, congratulations, Nick. I didn't know about Jackson. Obviously, that's going to be very good for you, Mark.
I know we talked about this before. Just what Nick was saying about when some decision has to be made and opportunity presents itself. And I know, Greg, you talked about this. I feel strongly. It's all about feelings for me, right? Not always always the positive ones, because I run the whole gamut. But I think when something magical or something life-changing is coming, or something that truly is going to make you aware or change the trajectory, you feel it. You feel it so deeply. You feel it inside, and you feel the time is right. You feel it. You feel it beyond the logic. You feel it beyond everything. You feel it and you think, I was afraid before. I wasted 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. And now I feel it. And when you feel it, there's no way denying it. And I also want to say about our group, about our movement. I've been watching, there's more and more people watching us. Did you guys know about this? More people interacting with us. We're slowly but surely, we're reaching more people. And I'm very excited about that. And I think we come together. There's no coincidence. It's not a chance. This is the reason we come together. Because while our origin may be different, our life story may be, different ways, but there's something that unites us. And what's unite us is that we are encouragers and we want to help others. And I'm sure you have other ways to see it, but I think There's a reason why we're here, like three of us now.
Absolutely. This is our movement, but it's also our movement. And think about that deeply for a second. You know, it is our movement, but it's our movement. The world knows, and the world's thirsty for love, for encouragement, and they don't know how to receive it. That's the sad part is we are so used to negativity. We're used to someone trying to sell us something. We're so used to the and this is a free offer, but $8.95 shipping and handling. You know, they're so used to the gimmick that they
Yeah.
don't get that this is our platform. We aren't trying to do anything else here other than to encourage each other and to encourage you, our listener and our viewer, because we've been through things, yes, but you might be going through something right now. And we realize that our words today can have an impact on you. You may be facing those difficult choices, and we're here for you. We're here for you right now. So engage with us and reach out to us as you're watching. If there's something you're struggling with that we haven't hit on, reach out to us because we want this to make an impact, not just on our lives, but on your life as well. If you're investing your time and watching us, you're partnering with us. You matter, your voice matters, and we want to get to know you. So let us know what we're doing well, maybe things we should work on, but something that we can talk about for you one day.
Yeah.
Sorry, insert commercial over.
Well, that's I also want to support what you just said, Nick. We together as a group, we're not just us three, but it's also about the guests.
Yeah.
Um, high quality, qualified guests that want to share an encouragement nugget or a story or something, a positive win. And you said it right. There's so much negativity. There's so much gotcha moments. Ah, I got you. Oh, I'm gonna get you. What? Let's stop with getting. Let's start with giving. One thing I want to say this week, I had this challenge as I'm traveling, different countries, and because I don't have a vehicle, I mean, I rent, or because I have to go from place to place to place, I take a lot of public transportation, and sometimes the public transport drivers are not the most, like when they look at strangers from different towns, or we travel, they're not the most. They don't have the high hospitality of the five-star hotel. They may scream at you, they may yell at you, they may insult you, all those things. And what I have found, I have found such angry driver. And at first I thought, well, I'm gonna tell you, and but then I thought, you know what? He's probably having some miserable experience. And it's not just here. He probably feels this through other areas of life. So I am just gonna send him a prayer. I am gonna disengage and I'm gonna let it go. Because I'm not gonna get you, I'm not gonna play gotcha. I'm just going to wish him well, say a prayer, and let him go. Because hurt people hurt others. Hurt people hurt others. So instead of engaging with that, why don't we heal or make a pathway for healing?
That's absolutely true. I had an opportunity this week. I have a small company. I do strip and wax floors. I was at a supply house. I've always used this supply house for the 5 years I've been in the area. And there's a woman that works there named Kathy, and she always watches me and treats me different. I work for a couple of different companies, but I always get my supplies from her. So she opened me an account, charge billing, receiving, all that kind of things. She knows my entire life story over the past 5 years. Hey, did you know one day at lunch I tell her, or another time, well, she knows I've gone from prison to home, God changed, here I am, wanting to be a pastor. So she comes out to my truck, knocks on the windows. I'm leaving last Friday, and she says, I just got to ask you something. I don't know how to ask. I said, what is it? She says, will you marry me? I said, well, I'm already married. She goes, no, no, no. I want to get married. And I know the guy, the great guy. And she's from a broken past and a religious past that she repelled against. That when she saw my life, something in her own mind, she chose me of all the people. Will you marry me? I said, sure. State of Kentucky, we do all the things. And as I get talking to her yesterday, she said this. She said, I have a religious past. They rejected me. My kids go to Catholic school. They're Pentecostal. I was a Baptist. She goes, I just have spirituality. And I think you get that. We've never had any discussions, but we paired in life by sharing life and vulnerability and encourage someone else. So on my end, I'm wondering if I can be engaged and I can do weddings. It's my first wedding. And I get to do it for a friend who I grew up with in this spiritual journey by encouraging her and she encouraging me and seeing I'm starting a struggling small business in the community and give me a credit line. It just goes around and around and around. Go out to the bank with a check I got from a township, city government. They wrote it a different way, so I had to open a new bank account. And that runs me into a lady named Michelle, who's probably watching today, because Michelle, that opened the account for me at the Desco Bank, knows her nephew is the drug counselor that I worked under. One of her other relatives, one of my best friends, go to church with me. Now me and her connected, and she couldn't believe the story. And now she's watching the Art of Encouragement, and she couldn't believe me sitting in that chair with this small business account. I've come from where I've come from, and I tell them all the time, you can go as far as you want to go if you let God be the driver. Let God be the driver. He will amaze you in what he wants for you, but we don't think that about ourselves. Not at all. So letting things go is certainly a great principle that you choose to practice on people. But sometimes people also come to you because they want to let go and they want you to they think you understand. So that's beyond humbling for me. But it's enriching. It's life giving. So then I go back to work, just doing what I do, because someone's watching. And I may know it or not, someone's watching. They're always watching, and you have an impact whether you say something or not. But just your presence is life's good. Two different ways to live: intentionally or circumstantial. One will confuse and destroy you. One will give you hope for.
Yeah, wow. I agree. Somebody's always watching you, and there's always someone looking up to you. I know you're 6'7", so everyone is looking up to you. But it's true. There's always someone looking up to you, and to them, you are the leader you always imagine yourself to be. Like in their eyes, you are the expert. You are the leader. Thank you for being that and doing that. I think that matters. One other thing I wanted to say as well, what I have learned in my world travels is that no matter where you are, no matter what country, North America, Asia, South America, whatever it is, there is a sanctity to work mandated lunch hour. Never, ever, ever break into sanctity of someone's lunch hour. You will get the fury. You will get the wrong time of the stick. So if you're traveling around the world, so I just want you to know, check, are these people on lunch? Are they finished eating? Can you approach? Can you do some business? And I have found that in corporations in the United States, as well as little moms and pops in Central Asia. And that's the truth. So a little tip for you that you did not expect.
Well, I actually practiced that, but in the reflective opposite way. If I'm going to go meet with a company and see their floor, do they say stop by anytime you want? I if I get running, what time is it? What time am I going to be there? So lunch here is 12 to 1. If it's like 11:45, they say I could come anytime. I don't do that. I'll go to buy supplies, make other phone calls, call a medical appointment, do something. And I want to be the first one when they walk in after lunch and say, hey, hope you had a great lunch. You got a minute. Because all they want to do when you come back from lunch is to be engaged, but not engaging. Yeah, let your food digest. It's a great soft spot for me to walk around, do measurements of the store, do the bid, give them that. By the time they're happy from lunch, it's a better closing tool. Or I get there so far, I don't want to be there 30 minutes before the lunch starts because they're like, yeah, just write it up and send it to me because that sanctuary of going to lunch to check out, help their kids, may have to go home or just sit in their car and think. Um, Knowing people's personal space can be uh, violent if you
It
engage.
is so true. It is so true. So if you're watching us, let us know. Maybe you had some stories when somebody violated your lunch or came into your lunch territory. What happened? Did you take it well? Did you learn something from it? Or maybe you have violated somebody else. Prescribed lunch hour. And but it also not just in corporations, it's also in cultures, different cultures, like there's in some cultures of the world, there's lunch hour that lasts several hours. And you better not disturb it. You better not disturb it because you'll pay the price. And that's not the one you want.
And there's some spiritual renewal about that. A lot of different countries, Muslim countries, different religions around the world, they have a time of day. It's totally do nothing but check out, meditate, and pray. And then they come back and they thrive as a community. So knowing your limits and knowing what to engage with people is certainly helpful. I learned hiring people working for me. Um, I'll get to work. They'll ask, how long is the job? I pay them so much an hour. We'll all agree. I'll say, you know what? It's going to be a short day. I'm paying you the same. We're just going to work till 1 o'clock. Start at 8 o'clock in the morning, do a 5 hour shift. I pay them for the 7 or 8 hours. We don't break for lunch. I learned that by experience. They're like, yeah, they think I'm giving them a tip. It looks that way. But when a person starts working and mopping, stripping, and waxing floors, and they get into their groove, they're good for about 5 hours. And the body just needs rest. You're constantly moving, even slowly. But at the end of that 5 hours, it's more profitable. They think it's more costly, but it's more profitable for me. The job is done. I got a fixed cost. I paid them for 7 or 8 hours. They worked 5. Next time I call short notice, they're there, but they think they don't get a lunch. I I get the feast because they're fast, they're efficient, they're clean. I get 2 or 3 jobs done in a period that it would take me a week. I do it in 3 days.
Wow.
So it's
See,
very
there,
powerful. While knowing the lunch hour, after they eat, they're sluggish and they don't want to be bothered or they say they're light. Even management, they come back from lunch. Oh yeah, let's have the big lunch. They have the last meeting, the simple thing, until they leave at 3 or 4 o'clock. The major work is done prior to lunch or that high peak hour, at least in construction for sure.
You know, I remember this. Everyone wants to break bread together. I remember having this residence at a business incubator, and there was a business director who says, "Okay, everyone, let's go to lunch." And I say, "Okay, he's paying the lunch. Of course I go." But no, he just invited everyone to go to lunch. And I thought that was such a neat thing to do because you get people from different diverse industries, you break bread together, you learn, you connect. And I think it's a great mark of leader, a leader. Don't just, eat in your dining room that, in an ivory tower, but you can go down or go up and or go in the middle and just meet people you don't normally meet. And I think it's a great, great, great icebreaker.
It is certainly that. I've done just the opposite. What I said a moment ago. We'll be doing a long job at night at a supply house. It'll be closed all night. We got to wax and do 18 hours of work over a weekend. I'll have a pizzas or whatever ordered. The place will be closed. They'll be delivering them while 4 hours at work. So about midnight, here come the pizzas and the sub sandwiches. They're looking around and go, who ordered that? Here. And they eat through the night as they're working, and just to have that camaraderie, eating together, even on the job stride. Uh, they don't look at anything other than the kindness you showed them. Oh, I brought something. Well, take, eat what you want, but this is available. And it certainly is an icebreaker. Then they eat the pizza or they take it home or whatever. But we're the same. You're working with me. I'm not working, you're not working for me. And I tell them that all the time. Independent contractor, you sign, I pay you, you do your own taxes. We're equal contractors. I just needed you to help me with the labor. Oh, okay. Well, and it's that. I really mean that. But without them, I could not do what I do on some jobs. I just have to pass it because I don't have the labor. But so give and take and understand, being kind to people. It's encouraging, and you get it back. You get it back. You can't count what you get back.
I feel it's you get it back in the ways you can't even imagine. I haven't heard from Nick. Is he still with us, or
Well,
maybe through
he
the
had to
magic?
he had to slide off in Magic Music Land. But in closing, and we have about 3 or 4 minutes in closing, on behalf of Nick, for the art of encouragement, get the book, get the story. But I was with Nick before Mark met him. Me and Nick met in a Putnam Prison chapel. The week or two before, and Nick knows his story, he ever arrived there, we had nobody to play the piano. And the chaplain had been there 25 years, and we were having devotions. And I asked about the piano. He said, well, I hope we get somebody. I said, let's pray. So me and two other orderlies prayed with the chaplain. The following week, Nick gets off the bus. Nick ends up starting a foundation, educating 400 other inmates through music theory, got the warden to adopt into his music teaching style. He comes out, he starts at the Thorn Foundation, which is a halfway house for guys to come in and transition to home. He himself went to work release in Jacksonville, went to Toastmasters, and now he's at Jacksonville State University teaching what he brought with him all along the way. He never changed. He was the teacher in prison. He was the teacher of the foundation. He was the teacher of people in their journey. And now he deservedly, and I praise him, trusting God. And he now is where he deserves and higher. Been to Carnegie Hall and all like that. And the old saying is, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? It's not directions. It's work, work, work. And to that is a tribute to our friend who had an appointment and had to go. But Mark, close us out. What do you got for next week? What do you got?
I just want you to hear me. Let's take care of each other and let's offer grace, more grace to ourselves, to the people in our lives, and especially to those people that don't think deserve it because they deserve it the most. That's it. Thank you
Well,
all.
all those who join us for the Art of Encouragement will be here next week at 10 a.m. with Mark, with Nick, and myself. We hope to see you then. Let us encourage you as you encourage another. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.